Hi, this is Tracy. I'm back again with a quick tutorial. I recently posted a boxy pouch pattern. In that pattern, it talked about having quilted fabric to start with. I said that you could either quilt it yourself or you could buy pre-quilted fabric. I had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me, well, how do I do that? Or what do I do? Or what do you use? So I thought in this video, I would do a step-by-step of different options. I know there's a lot out there. This is just some of the stuff I use as far as batting and different type of foam options. So watch along. Hopefully this teaches you something. If you have any questions, I'm always here to feel free to ask me. I will put my link in the pattern below in the video. So enjoy the video, watch along. Hopefully you learned something from this. And I will be posting more videos down the road as far as patterns and quick tutorials. So thank you so much. Let's get sewing. Okay, we're going to go over how to quilt fabric for different projects. The projects could include a handbag, a zip tote, a zipper pouch, you name it. There's multiple different ways to quilt, and over the years I've sewn, I've tried many different things. These are the things I kind of like the best. I know everyone has their own way, but I'm just kind of breaking it down, some of the things that work for me. So as you can see, we have multiple different types of batting, we have some stabilizer, some foam. So I'll kind of walk you through all the different things you'll need to get started for this. So what I'm going to do is just take some basic regular quilt cotton, nothing fancy, stuff you buy at the store, stuff you have in your house, and then we're going to do different options. The first option is going to be regular batting. You can get batting, these are made for quilts, any kind of Walmart or sewing store, very simple. I know different people talk about ounces and thickness. Personally, I just kind of buy whatever's on sale. I've gotten different things throughout the years, and truly I haven't really noticed a difference. And if you want it extra thick, you can just double it, and it gives you that extra puffy feel to it. So we'll do one option with just a single batting. We'll do another option with 2 layers of batting so you can see how it just gets puffier. Then we'll do another option. We got a couple more here. We have, where did I put it? There we go. Our flex foam. Flex foam, I absolutely love it. I love sewing with it. I love everything about it. The only thing is, sometimes it does sell out. It gets harder to find, and it is very pricey. So you just got to think about what you want to use for your project, and is it worth it? And you can see the flex foam here. It has a fabric kind of on both sides, so it's really durable, especially if you're doing something that's going to be a little bit like more use, like a tote bag or something. But sometimes I don't feel like spending the money, and by accident I ended up getting this when I ordered foam, and I thought it was this, but I got this instead, and it turned out that I really like it. This is called Pellon Naked Foam. You can see it does not have any fabric on either side. It's stretchy, so you got to be careful when you're sewing with it, but it does give you a nice foam texture. And again, like I did on the other one, if you want it extra puffy, you can double it. So you can see the 2 thicknesses. This is the Pellon foam. This is the naked foam. So you can see definitely there is a difference, but at the end of the day, they'll kind of do the same thing depending on the project that you're working on. So after we figure out what type of stabilizer or backing we want, we're going to take our fabric and we need to mark it. So this is where you decide, do you want a diamond pattern? Do you want like stripes of stitching? Do you want to kind of quilt around patterns that are there? Pretty much you can do whatever you want, and whatever you feel. There is no wrong here. I think on one of these I will do a diamond pattern, and over the years I've kind of come to like diamonds that are either 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Sometimes it gets too big depending on your print, especially if you're doing a zip. You want a smaller, like a little zip pouch, you want a smaller print or a smaller stitch things close together. So we'll do one with a diamond pattern. I think on this one, what we might do is I'll kind of stitch around the circles. So then you're incorporating the print on the fabric with your quilting. And then we'll do maybe a stripey one. We'll just do a few different ones. So once you figure out what you're going to do, you will grab your ruler, and then you're going to put it on the fabric. You can use tailor's chalk. You could mark it with the heat pens. I know a lot of people love the heat pens. I've had some bad experiences where weeks or two later the ink starts coming back, so I gave up on that. I also tried, some people were using like a painter's tape, putting it on the fabric and using it as a guideline. It does work, but it does leave a hint of a residue. The thing that I've found that works the greatest is, I know there's tools for this, but I've just used my butter knife and it's always seemed to work for me. You lay it on the fabric, and then you're almost going to use this as a guide. Sorry about the light there, but it's getting a reflection. So once you have where you want it, you're just going to take a butter knife, soft side, and you're not going to push too hard because you don't want to ruin your fabric. You're just going to like lightly score along your ruler. Weirdly, that leaves a great line. Do you see it right here? And you just follow your sewing machine on that line. What's great about this is you don't have to worry about removing anything or chalk residue, anything. Then that way you can just keep going along, marking it all out. Then you could take it to the sewing machine and go. The other thing you can do when you have your ruler, it's so funny because for the longest time I didn't even realize this was here. I just used my ruler. Most of these rulers, you'll see the guidelines. This will also help you if you want to do 45-degree angles or different angles. You could set it up on the corner of your fabric, and this will help you guide if you want to do the diamond prints for these. So what I'm going to go do is mark some of this out. I'll come back and then we'll start sewing. Okay, we made it to the sewing machine. Our first option we'll be doing is the single side, just one single piece of batting. This one I decided to do a diamond pattern that's about 1 inch thick. So I put my, you can see my little score lines from when I used my butter knife. So this one will do this option first. Now, when you start quilting, no matter what you quilt, no matter what pattern you do, always start from the middle and work your way out. So we're going to do the middle line right down the center. That way it'll evenly disperse the fabric as you go. Because if you start from this end and you start going this way and then you do it the opposite, sometimes they kind of bunch when they hit the middle. So this is where you start in the middle, work your way out, and then you're going to do it the same thing on the other side. So let's get started on this one. And always set your stitch length to about 3.5. You want larger stitch lengths when you're doing any kind of quilting. It'll look more clean and nice when you finish. Now when you get to the end, you could either turn, put your needle down, turn and go over to the next line, or take it out and start your next line. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I tend to just do another little line next to it. Okay, as you can see, we're starting in the center. We're going to work our way out. I'm going to go this way, all the way over, then I'll do the other side. Okay, we started the middle, we're working our way out. And again, I'm not doing perfection on this. If I was doing this for a real project, I would be spending a lot more times to make sure every single line is super, super straight, super perfect. I'm just kind of speeding up just to give you the idea of how to do this. Okay, so we have enough lines to give you an idea. So then we will be doing the opposite way now. So we start getting that diamond effect. And again, you're going to start going down the center first. I think I've done enough to where you can kind of get an idea. Here's our little diamond patterns. You can see there's a nice little puff. It'll give some body and shape, but if you want it a little bit thicker, we can now do our option with the 2 pieces of batting. Okay, again, starting from the center. Some people are saying an average sewing machine, it's hard to go through 2 pieces of batting and fabric. I haven't really had any issues with it. I think any thicker than that, as long as you're using quilt cotton, you should be fine. Oops. Okay. And again, my lines are not perfect. I'm just going kind of fast just to show you the concept, but you could definitely see how this is a lot heavier and it has a lot more structure. So you can do the straight lines and keep on going all the way across. You could feel the thickness. Our next one, I'm going to do, let's do 2. Actually, we'll try 1. Let's just do 1 so we see it. This is, we're going to go around a pattern. So whatever you have, if you have flowers, you have little hearts, you have any design, and I'm using a bright pink thread so you can kind of see what it looks like. And I'm doing 1 piece of the naked foam. So in this one in particular, you don't have to pre-mark it when you do this, which is great. But again, starting from the middle, but since I'm doing this as a example, and some people love using spray foam to hold the fabric to any kind of stabilizers or batting, but I always feel like sticky, I'm not really a super fan. And that's me personally. Everyone has their right to like what they want. And if I feel that my fabric's going to move, I just put some pins. But if I hold it with my hand, I've had good luck with that. So this one you can see now from an angle. See how it's puffy? And it just gives you, and again, not perfection. I'm just trying to show you techniques. But what's nice about this is it kind of gives you that texture, and then you can keep quilting around other little pieces in the same fabric. And you didn't have to mark it. You just kind of go off the fabric's own pattern. You can also take off your sewing foot if you want to in kind of more free form. But when I'm working with foam or batting, because of how puffy and thick it is, I feel like I really need to leave my foot on there. Again, not going for perfection, but you can see the concept. You can sew around cute little things, and then now it's all connected. And our last one is our foam, our thicker foam. Still, with an average sewing machine, you should have no issues sewing through it. This one I'm going to do a little bit smaller lines just so you can kind of see what it looks like. Also, if you do smaller lines in your fabric and you don't want to mark it, you can even use your foot as a guide. So, see how it's puffy? Now it just adds a really cute little look. And then if you want to do accent thread, I did pink just so you can kind of see it pop more. But if you do the accent thread, it could also give a whole new look to what your project could be. So there you have it. There's different techniques on how to quilt and how easy it can be. It just takes a little bit of practice and then figure out what works for you and what you like. So I'll lay them all out and you can see the difference on the mat. Okay, we're back. Let's go over what we did. We have our single side of batting. We have our double batting. You can see sitting next to each other. This one is a lot puffier, so it depends on the project you're working on. You can see this is a little floppy. It's a little bit more sturdy. And also too, when you if you do any lining on any pouches or bags or whatever, the lining will add a little bit of structure as well. But you can just kind of see the feeling when you touch them. Then here is our naked foam with our quilting. It's still pretty strong, you know, it holds its shape. And then here is our thicker Pellon. You can see that it's definitely puffier. And the two, if you want to compare. So now that you kind of have an idea of the different stabilizers and backings you could add to your pouches, I have pouch patterns on my channel. I'll do the link below. That way you can kind of get an idea of what you can take a pattern and make it just a little bit nicer by adding this quilting technique. And keep watching. I will be posting more videos on all kinds of other different techniques for sewing. Keep watching for new patterns, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks.